In this video, I'm going to show you how to play music in your ELAN system using the Sonos app. So the first thing I need to clarify is that in order to play music through Sonos in your ELAN system, you're going to have to use both apps. So the way I describe their relationship to one another is I kind of think of the Sonos app as your records, like vinyl records, and your ELAN app kind of like your amplifier and your powered speakers. So if you were to put a record on a record player, but you weren't going to turn the speakers on, you wouldn't be able to hear anything because it would be so quiet. Likewise, if you were to turn your record player's amp on but not play anything, you wouldn't hear any music. So what we need to do is power our amp on using the ELAN app and then select our music using the Sonos app. So let me show you what that looks like. The first thing I'm going to do is power the amp on in the room that I want to listen to music. So I'm going to launch the ELAN app. I'm going to connect to my system. I'm going to go to Media. And then under Living Room, I'm going to select Sonos as the source. There's two ways I could do this. I could click the drop-down arrow right here and select Sonos. Or I could actually navigate to the room and then select the source from this page. So I'm going to select Sonos. And you can see we were recently playing the smooth jazz station. However, no music is going to play yet because this is basically us just turning on the speakers for our record player. We still have to select the record itself. So I'm going to keep this app open, but I'm going to switch to the Sonos app. So once I go here, I'm going to go to Browse under Sonos Radio. I'm going to pick a station. I'm going to go to Mainstream. And now this mainstream adult contemporary station is playing in my living room. If I go back to the ELAN app, you can see that the living room is now listening to this stream and it's pulling in the album artwork and everything. So if you want to adjust volume for this room, you have arrows on the bottom right. It's a volume up button and a volume down button. And then if you want to add this music to other rooms in your home, you'll go back to your media page here, and I'm going to just tap the down arrow next to master bed, select Sonos. So now this station is playing in both the living room and the master bedroom. That's pretty much the basics of it. When you're all done, you could turn all of the zones off by touching this sliding bar here. But there is one other additional feature. So although you have to use the Sonos app to search for new music, if you favorite or add any stations that you listen to regularly, if you add them to your My Stations, then ELAN can actually launch that station without having to open up the Sonos app. Let me show you what I mean. So if I go to Sonos, and let's say I really like this cruise control soft rock, yacht rock station. So what I can do is I just tapped on the album icon on the bottom left to open up our now playing page. Then I'm going to tap the three dots, and you'll see an option for add station to my Sonos. So that option is going to be there for most music services. Unfortunately, Spotify does not have this sometimes, but most stations will have a add station to my Sonos section. If I were, now I'm still in the Sonos app, I'm going to tap the star icon on the bottom left. You can see under my stations, I have cruise control radio. And actually, just for the sake of examples, let me add one more. Let's do some R&B collective. I'm going to add station to my Sonos. There we go. I go back to my favorites. Now I have two different radio stations added to my stations. So if I go back to my ELAN app, now I'm going to tap favorites. We're on the Sonos page here, and there are my two stations that I've favorited. So if there is playlists or stations or albums or artists that you're listening to all the time, if you add them to My Stations in your Sonos app, you can actually just launch them directly using this Favorites feature within the ELAN app. So I hope this has been useful, and let me know if you have any questions.